this week's video is asking the question, do you really need a bookkeeper or an accountant to do your accounts? And guess what? You don't. You don't need one. You don't need one. But is it the best option? Now let's look at the pros and cons of doing your own accounts and also decide whether software helps you and if it's worth the investment. Okay, can you do your own accounts? Absolutely. As a sole trader or small business, this is only you have every right to manage your accounts on your own. But just because you can doesn't mean you should. But let's explore both sides of the coin to see if it's worth it for you. Only you can answer that question. So the pros and cons of doing it yourself. Pro, no extra expense. You don't have to pay for someone to do it. You don't have to pay the really extraordinary amounts for an accountant to do it. You don't have to pay for a bookkeeper to do it, or even an admin person to do it. So you've saved money there. That's one less expense to worry about. And you also have full control of your accounts. It's not just receiving what the professional has done and you're going, yeah, that's all right. Yeah, that's fine. But you actually understand your numbers in your business. If you understand your numbers, you understand your business. So it's totally worthwhile of doing your accounts for at least some point of the time until you get to a point where you really cannot do it any longer because you're just too busy, or you can afford to hand it over. Now the cons of doing it yourself. It's time consuming. It's absolutely so, and it's one of those jobs that I bet you will leave it to the very last minute to do, and then you'll be so overwhelmed you wouldn't know what to do and you just want to throw everything up in the air and go, I don't know what I'm doing. So giving it to someone to do will take that pressure off you, and you know that they will still ask you questions about your accounts, like what was this expense? Can you pass that receipt over to ensure that it's being put in correctly? But also another con is you could be missing some deductions. You could be missing some expenses you could have claimed. Perfect example of this is my last video last week. Most people do not claim for use of home, the use of their personal mobile, and their mileage in their car. It just doesn't occur to you. You just think it's just the main things. But having a professional who knows what they're doing, they'll be able to highlight, well, have you claimed this? Have you claimed that? And also they'll ensure that everything you do claim is a valid expense. So one of the things that you cannot claim for is clothing unless it's got a logo on. They'll be able to highlight that out. So if HMRC find this out, you're not going to be liable for anything on that front. Now the question is, do you need software to manage your accounts? You don't need software to manage your accounts. You could use an Excel spreadsheet, Google Sheets, perfectly fine. But let's look at the pros and cons to help you make that right decision for your business. Pros of no software. Lower costs again. No subscription fees for an extra bit of software, which is great for keeping your expenses low and increasing your profit. Fantastic. Another one is to customize your spreadsheet. So you have full flexibility how you want your spreadsheet to go. So you can dictate the headings for each of the sections. So you could have a heading for your cost of sales, headings for travel, heading for rent, heading for wages. So, and then you can work out all your profit from that. The cons of no software. It's more admin work because you are going to have to type out every single line for each expense that you do. And I would recommend, if you do it this way, that you get your business bank account statement out and you go line by line and adding each of those lines to your spreadsheet and then indicating what that expense was. Was it a sale? Was it a cost of sale? Was it rent? Was it subscription, etc., etc., etc.? So it's taking a lot more time up. Plus, by doing it this way, you are missing out on any automation opportunities that a software would give you. So something in like QuickBooks, that's the software we mainly use along with FreeAgent. It is able to bring in your bank transactions into it. It will then see those bank transactions and it will suggest how to allocate those transactions, or if it matches to a receipt, or it matches to a sales invoice. And then you can also set up rules to say, if something like, so your EE mobile bill, anytime you see EE for this amount, put it straight in as EE mobile expense. That's it. It's automatically in. You don't have to do anything. The computer has picked it up, the software's picked it up, and it's allocated it straight away for you. So let's back this up. Yes, you can absolutely handle your own accounts. If you've got the time, the discipline, it might be worth it. But if you want to make your life easier, accounting software can be a game changer. It's about finding the right balance between time and money, two of the most important resources as you as a business owner. Okay? So, up to you. Are you going to do your own accounts or not? And if you are going to do your accounts, are you going to use software? I recommend you do. Are you going to use software? And go from there. Good luck, and follow us for any hints and tips on things you can and can't claim, on how to do your accounts, or how to use QuickBooks or FreeAgent if you do decide to go down that route. But before I go, in the description, there is a link to my free guide of 5 must-do tips on how to stay on top of your accounts. Go and click on that and get that guide free into your email box. And also remember to hit subscribe so you never miss any more of our episodes. Until next time, take care. Bye.